We are Jarena and David Berkey, and New Life is our sending church. And we appreciate you all so much. It is so great to get to be with you today and to get to share just a little bit about what the Lord's been doing. We do work in Caracas, Venezuela, which is in South America. It is the capital of Venezuela, a Spanish-speaking country. And we work in church planting and church development. So we work to start new churches and get them to the point where they can be independent with their own Latin American pastor before we leave them. We want them to thrive when we pull out. We do have 3 grown daughters, and we just got to take a new family picture. Our daughters are, our oldest is Adriana. She's married to Brennan, and they have our only granddaughter, Miriam, who currently has a broken leg, as you see her little cast in the picture. And then our youngest daughter is next to them, Caroline, with her boyfriend, Logan. And then our middle daughter is Laura, who's married to Jacob. And Caroline and Laura live in Tucson, and Adriana lives in Louisville, Kentucky with her family. We just got to all be together for the first time in about 2.5 years. So it was really great. We loved it. We have been in Venezuela for 31 years last month. Adriana was 6 months old when we arrived, and Laura and Caroline were born there. So we're hoping to work a few more years until our retirement and be able to leave the church that we're currently in a very healthy place. We live in a high-rise apartment in a middle-class neighborhood. This is a picture taken from a window in our building. There are 13 high-rises on just our little kind of a cul-de-sac. And so we have lots of neighbors. And Caracas has about 5 million people, more or less. So it's a big city, and there's a lot of need to tell people there about the good news of Jesus Christ. We are currently in a very time-consuming visa renewal process. We have resident visas. They're good for 5 years, and they are currently expired. But because we have been able to submit our documents for renewal, we can apply to get a permission to travel out of the country for 90 days. So this current trip that we're on is a short home assignment trip, and we are leaving Thursday, arriving back in Caracas on Saturday after we take a couple of days in Miami for quite a bit of business. And we will hit the ground running because on Sunday we'll be at church. These are just a few pictures. We have made so many trips to the immigration office, about twice a month for close to 2 years. We know it well. We would be happy to not continue going there. While we've been on this home assignment, like Mom said, we've visited all but one of our supporting churches. One's in Florida, and we will not get to that one this time. We've seen a number of our individual supporters, all of our siblings, all of our kids, and we're just so satisfied that we've been able to see the people that we have and to tell what the Lord has been doing in these past years. You have probably heard a lot about Venezuela in the news, and unfortunately most of the news is not positive. We and the people that we're reaching live in a very unstable environment. There's lots of conflict and instability, but we're seeing the Lord work in so many good ways. And so we want to focus on what God is doing, because He does not need a stable environment or peace to be at work. And we've seen that firsthand. We're so thankful.
Well, the current church that we're working on is called El Puente, which means the bridge. And our focus is on Jesus is the only mediator between God and man. And that's something that a lot of people in Venezuela don't know. They think there are other mediators, and between saints and spirits and the Virgin Mary, they think there are other mediators. But there's only one mediator, and that's Jesus. He's the bridge between God and man. And that's the name of our church. And if you have followed us over the years, this is really the second church that we're in a sense, launching into their independence. In the 90s, we were with another church that, by the way, is still going. They still have their pastor in place, and they're still functioning. They're now our sister church. And we would like to do the same with our church here. We have, if you remember, back in 2017, we were able to purchase a place. After about 15 years of raising and saving our money, we were able to purchase a spot in a shopping center. And this gives us ample parking, it gives us 24-hour security, and it allows us to actually have it. We don't have to pay rent. So we've remodeled it for ministry, and so now it's up and running, and it looks really good. We're really proud of it because it's very useful, a very useful tool for the Lord's work. And while we were here for COVID, because we were here for 15 months because all the flights shut down. We came here, but there were no flights back. So we were here for 15 months doing church over Zoom, which was interesting. But during that time, we were able to invite a pastor friend of mine to be our associate pastor. And we had enough money saved up, and we weren't doing the normal spending because we weren't having our normal services and things. So we had enough buffer. We thought, let's just take a risk and hire him as our associate pastor. His name is Eslid Rivero, and that's an unusual first name even for Venezuela, and his second name is even harder. So if you can just remember his last name, Rivero. He has his wife, who also has an interesting name, Wiljor, and has his two kids. And we really love them. They are our neighbors now. The church is paying for an apartment in our neighborhood that's close to the church, so they have access to the church. It's been really nice because Eslid was in a church before serving, but most of his people left the country because of all the political upheaval. And then with COVID, that was the end. They couldn't support him anymore. And so some of the pastors actually left Venezuela with their congregations. They also left. But I caught him. I said, "You're not going to leave, are you?" I say, "Come and work with us." And so it's really nice because he is in his late 40s. And the idea is that he's gaining confidence and trust and involvement in the church so that when it's time for us to phase out, he'll be able to continue to lead the church. He's now working on a master's degree from an institute in Costa Rica. Very qualified man. We're very happy to have him. We also have been able to, after COVID, reinitiate all our activities. Our children's classes are going well. We're now trying to train more people, and we're seeing that we're having growing pains. We need more space. We need more teachers. And so you could pray for that. That's something that's going to be fun. We've now had our new members class going, and we're trying to do that every 6 months at a minimum. In fact, they just did last Saturday. They just had the first new members class that I wasn't involved in. But Pastor Eslid did that, and we teach people. We go over the gospel. We go over being baptized, what it means to be a member of a church, and then how our church works and how they can get involved in participating, fellowshipping, and serving the Lord with us. And we have more members than we've ever had before right now. So we're very, very happy. We also have a midweek Bible study, and that's a lot of fun. We call it After Office, and we say it in English. We say After Office because it sounds cool. And so people come after work, directly from work, because the crime has gotten so high that people don't want to be out after dark. So we start at 6, and by 7, 7:15, 7:30, everybody's on a bus going home or wherever they need to go. And we also do it on Zoom. We put a camera on there so that if there are people who live too far away, they can actually get to participate in the lesson. So we've enjoyed that a lot. We really enjoy that time, and we always have really yummy snacks, which is really nice. We've also been doing discipleship workshops that we're doing more or less once a month, not every month, but we have 7 areas. We're using a material called SALT, 7 areas of life training, and each area is an intensive module where we do 4 sessions. It's a 4-hour module. And it's on discipleship. It's what the Bible teaches about different areas. My relationship with God, my relationship with others, my relationship with myself, my relationship with my body, my relationship with my wife, my husband, my relationship with my finances, all these areas of discipleship. And we used to do this just with believers, but we found that when we opened it up to the public, people came. And people are surprised that the Bible actually talks about these areas. And they're like, wow, the Bible's relevant. So anyway, it's been a good thing. And the good thing about it is now we're training people in the church to actually present the material. So it used to just be me, then it was me and Pastor as lead, but now we're getting other people to be involved in actually giving it and organizing it. So we're forming a team to continue to have this continually going on, this constant discipleship going on. The ladies have been having a good group, and they always have a hoot when they get together. The men, here's Jareen at one of the breakfasts they had. Now the men, we don't have a hoot. We just have good food, and we chew the fat. And anyway, we're seeing a lot of men are responding, and that's something that's uncommon. And so we're very, very encouraged with the amount of men that are joining us. We also started we have a 15-week Bible study, a Bible course that's based on videos. It's in Spanish, and it's also one that we want to form a team so that they can continue to do that. We just finished the first round through the course in August, and we're doing it during the day. We're doing it at 4 in the afternoon for people who can't come at night, because there are people that can never come to the Bible study. But we wanted to offer something during the day. So that's going well, and we hope that this will catch on also. We have good fellowship times. On Sundays, since we're in a shopping center, most of the other stores in the shopping center are closed. So we basically take over the whole hall outside, and nobody's told us we can't do it. We have a saying, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. So we just do it. And we put a table out there, we have free coffee and maybe a snack. And so before and after the service, we always have fellowship time out there. And the kids can run around and misbehave, and it's wonderful. Jareen and I have also started a Bible reading group. We don't say it's an evangelistic group. It's just a Bible reading group. And we have invited neighbors to come and read the Bible. We say, hey, do you understand the Bible when you read it? Oh, no, but I like the Psalms every once in a while. Well, why don't you come and we'll just read through the Bible. So we have 3 people that responded, and we have gone through the book of John, and now we're halfway through the book of Acts. And they keep bugging us. They say, when are you coming back? Because they always have a lot of questions, because these are intelligent people, but they've just never sat down and understood the Bible. And they're encouraged that they actually understand it when they read it, because there's sort of this idea that the Bible's too complicated. And it's really not, if you just sit down and read it. So anyway, you can pray for those folks. We've also begun to do baptisms again after COVID. We got a baptismal that was made in Texas, and we had it shipped to Miami, and then by boat shipped it to Venezuela. But it's nice because it's portable. So we just put it up there when it's time for baptisms, and we're seeing more people taking that step of faith for baptism, and we're hoping that from our new members class, some more people want to be baptized, because we always challenge people to take that step of faith, which in a Catholic environment is a much bigger step than it would be here. So we're encouraged by that. We also have our music team. It used to just be me and a guitar, and the group has grown, and so we're encouraged. We even have a drummer who just turned 13. And when he was 11, I taught him to play the congas. And I said, you just play the congas. And I said, don't worry about that drum set over there. Don't worry about that. Well, pretty soon he wanted to play the drums. So anyway, now he's actually taking lessons, but he's doing well. But our music team is growing. And so we want that we want to have a relevant, meaningful worship time every time we're together. Well, we're really excited because the church is growing. We feel like our church is stronger now after COVID than it was before. People are wanting to get involved. They're coming more consistently. We're seeing new people come. And we're just excited. And when we see pictures of the folks, we want to go back because we miss these folks. These are the folks we've dedicated our time to. We know their stories. We know their struggles, and they're dear friends of ours. And so, if you could just pray for us, and pray for these folks, and pray for the folks that have not come that the Lord has called. We know there are future people that need to come to know the Lord that haven't come to us yet. This is a fun picture. We got a photo bomber in there. If you look between our legs, that's our pastor's son. He's very shy, but sometimes he'll do funny things.
He's funny.
Yeah. We also have an opportunity we'd like for you to pray with us about. We have an opportunity to try to buy the space next to our church's space. We have about 2,100 square feet, and the owners of the place that we bought are also the owners of the next space over. It's an Italian family. And right now there's a glasses, an optician or an glasses store is renting that space. But if we could negotiate and buy that space, it would increase our church's space by 40%. And we would have room to have children's class because we're needing space for our kids. And we want to reach more families. So I'm going to get to that because we don't know. Every year since we bought our place, I've been sending an email to the son, or the man named Marco, asking him when he was going to sell. I said, when you're going to sell, you be sure to talk to me so we can have a chance to buy it. And every year he says no. And this year I did it again. I sent him an email. I said, hi, Marco, how are you doing? And have you guys thought about selling? And he said, no, we're really not going to sell. But then his legal representative, who handles their real estate in Venezuela, because they now live in Florida, right, this family. She came and talked to me and she said, if you made an offer, he probably would sell to you. And I'll encourage him to sell. So she's on our team. And so we are going, I've been in touch with him. He's now agreed to talk to me. When we go on Thursday, we're going to fly to Miami, spend a day in Miami. We're going to go see him in person. He wanted to talk in person. And he says, I want you to come to my house because I want you to pray for my family. Oh, wow. Which is out of the blue. So you could pray for that encounter. His mother's name is Adriana. And he has a son with special needs. And he's a human being. And we are going to try to minister to him, and at the same time, we want him to give us an idea of how much he wants. Our guess, looking at other spaces in the shopping center, it's going to be between $60,000 and $80,000, which sounds like a lot, but it's very cheap. Right now, the prices have gone down because it's 80 square meters, and I don't know how many square feet that is, but
800 probably.
Yeah,
isn't it times
800 or 900? Yeah. So anyway, you could pray for that. Pray that encounter would go well, and that we've already begun to raise money so that he knows we're actually serious about this. If you'd like to make a donation to that, you can do that through the church, through our missions website. But just pray that this would happen. I mean, we want it to happen, but we want the Lord's will. So we're just going to knock. We have a saying in Spanish, knocking doesn't mean you're going in the door. So we're going to go knock. And, Jesus said knock, and the door will be open. So if you could pray for us in this time, pray for Pastor Rivero, his wife, his family, his ministry. Also pray for evangelistic growth. We're trying to emphasize this year equipping our people to share the gospel themselves with their friends, their neighbors, their family. And also for our church members, increased involvement in ministry. We have some young believers that don't know that they can get involved in ministry. They don't know that yet, and so we're trying to set the fire in them so they can be involved in women's ministry or children's ministry or music ministry or outreach or deacon ministries, so they can do the upkeep on our place. But pray for them. Also pray for funds and a successful negotiation to purchase the additional space. Just remember those 4 things if you could. And we just would want to say thank you. We want to say thank you to New Life Community Church for being behind us for so many years. I remember when we commissioned. That was such a special time. It's special to have a church behind us and people that know us and that are faithful not only in giving but also in praying for us. Because we want to see the Lord do great things. Your partnership means so much to us. So thank you very much.